Don't breathe too fast, please. Too easy. It's like she was running. Run there.
You got one coming.
Come on, Dinah.
Go, 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 go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Good, 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 good. 8, 9, 10. Last one. I don't want to make this story long, only because it is a long story and I know I can make it long. I tried to go ahead and videotape my, my labor and delivery, but I actually don't want to post it, only because I don't want anyone to, get freaked out or anything, because I know how I was acting, got all the nurses and everyone like kind of nervous, so I don't want to get anyone nervous in this video, so I just rather not post it. This little guy was born on the 15th of June. The original due date that they had given me was June 23rd. I knew that he was going to come around the 11th only because I know when I got my last menstrual cycle, and they really wanted to go based off of the baby's measurements, but I really didn't believe that the date was the 23rd. I never believed it. I always knew that it was going to be around the 11th, right? So pretty much what, if you guys follow me on Twitter, that's where I mostly, would talk about my pregnancy and, how I was doing and what was going on. So I pretty much went to the hospital. We pretty much went to the hospital for false alarms about 4 times. I want to say about 4 times, 3 or 4 times. And if you guys do follow me on Twitter, you know that I made it to 7 centimeters without any pain. I didn't have any pain. What's wrong, baby? I didn't have any pain. I was pretty fortunate. I was pretty lucky that I made it all the way to 7 centimeters without any pain. I've been contracting a lot for a while. I just didn't know it was contractions, because usually when they say you're having contractions, you feel pain, and I didn't feel any pain. Are you pushing? I didn't feel any pain. I just felt tightening. I felt very uncomfortable from the tightening, and people would ask me, oh, what did you do? Did you do anything specific? I didn't really do much. I mean, I did walk a lot. But to be honest, I don't think that's what made me contract and got him down so low. I think it was just all what he wanted to do, and he was a very good baby. He just knew I'm not one for the pain, so he knew to get me there faster. So pretty much the night he came, I was having a lot of dreams. I mean, I knew it was going to happen soon, because I was supposed to be induced the day after he decided to come. So he decided to come on Wednesday. It was Wednesday morning. It was around 2 in the morning, and I was in bed. I was laying down. I was sleeping. Well, I want to say that I was sleeping, but I wasn't. I was pretty much tossing and turning the whole night, because I don't know, within that whole week I just wasn't feeling right. And I had been contracting for so long, and they were all so close apart. Every time I went to the hospital, they would come in and they would monitor me, and they would say, wow, you're contracting a lot, you don't feel that? And I'm like, no, I don't feel that. So I had made it to 7 centimeters the last time that I had went in for a false alarm, and she had told me, listen, we're going to go ahead and induce you on Thursday. We don't want to induce you right now because you're 38 weeks, and we find that babies do better when they're born 39 to 40 weeks. So so she had said that she was going to induce me that Thursday. So that Wednesday, I don't know what it was, but I was sleeping, or I was just laying there, and I kept tossing and turning, and I had a dream that I was contracting and I was feeling pain. But really, the pain wasn't happening in my dream, it was happening in real life. And I didn't realize that because I wasn't feeling pain for so long. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to feel. So it wasn't painful. It wasn't anything that I could say was painful, because it wasn't painful. It was just like, oh, this is something I've never felt before. So I was laying there, and I go to my fiance and I'm like, okay, something doesn't feel right. Like, I know something's not right. And he was just in such a deep sleep that he was like, oh babe, you're fine, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. And then he turns around and I'm like, no, something is off. So I'm here and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to it. I'm gonna keep on paying attention to it. So I kept feeling it with every contraction. I kept feeling like cramps. And I was just like, no, this isn't something that I normally, get. So I turned to him and I was like, babe, this is it. And he was just like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to wait until the next one. So I wait until the next one. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait until the next one. So he was just like, babe, like, we can go right now. We can go. So I was just like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. I was like, because I didn't know what to expect. And all I needed was to get to 8-9 centimeters and not even know it, and end up having my baby in the car. So I was just like, you know what? If this isn't it, at least I went to go check to make sure. So around 3 in the morning, we get to the hospital. It was around 3. Yeah, I want to say around 3 in the morning or 3:30 or something like that. And my doctor checks me and she says I'm dilated 7 to 8. So I was still dilated 7 to 8. And my water still didn't break. So they were just like, okay, we're gonna keep you here. We're gonna see if your water breaks. So I'm laying there and they tell me, hey, like, you're already pretty close. Do you want to go ahead and do the epidural? So I was just like, you know what? Yeah, let's do the epidural. And I know that most people would be like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just, go ahead and take the pain? You were already so close. But I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't want to scare myself and panic when I already get too far and then I can't get the epidural. So I was just like, I'm gonna do it. It doesn't make you less of a woman if you do. So I took it. I was good for an hour. I was good for about an hour, and then my water had broken. I didn't feel it break. I just kind of felt like my leg get warm, and I was just like, yeah, I think my water broke. So my doctor comes in and she checks. She's like, yep, your water broke. So soon, this is gonna happen soon. So I want to say not too long after that. He's pushing. Not too long after that, my other doctor comes in and she says, okay, we're gonna do a practice run. So I was just like, okay, I'm feeling positive, I'm feeling good. I didn't feel any pain, so that's why I was feeling positive and I was feeling good. So we do the practice run and I'm like, okay, I can do this. And they're telling me I'm doing a good job, good job. She comes back in not too long after that and she's like, okay, we're gonna start pushing. So this is when it really, really hit me, because I felt like I was pushing forever, when really I was laboring for about 6 hours, which is nothing compared to what other people go through. Luckily, I was pretty lucky. I didn't have to labor for such a long time. But I was there pushing for so long, and I was losing a lot of blood because I actually had a 4th degree tearing. So my doctor had to cut me about, I want to say 3 times, I think, and stitch me up gave me about 8 or more stitches. I'm not absolutely sure because I was in so much pain that I didn't even keep track, but I know that it was a lot. So the whole time I was just screaming and I was crying, I was throwing up while I was pushing. Like, it was just not an experience that I thought would happen to me, only because I'm sitting here, I was so positive, and because I didn't feel pain for so long, I was just like, okay, this is gonna be smooth, it's gonna be a fast delivery. My son decided to be face up, So that's why, and he was an 8-pound baby. So he decided to be face up, so that's why, so he was in my pelvic bone, face up. So that's pretty much why he wasn't coming out. There are about 6 or 7 of my family members that were in the room with me. My dad was in there, my fiance, my mom, my fiance's grandmother, his mother, his sisters. They were all in the room with me, and that didn't include the doctors or the nurses that were in there too. You know, they were all really supporting me, and I was just like, this isn't, like, I could not do it. Like, it got to the point where I was losing so much blood, I was losing oxygen, I couldn't, you know, they had to keep putting the mask on me, and I was just throwing the thing off because I was just like, it's not doing anything for me. Like, I can't breathe. And it got to the point where I was just giving up, and they could see that I was giving up, and everyone in there just looked so worried for me because I was struggling so much. And it was just one of those things that I was just like, I can't do this again. Like, I can't. You know, I had my dad holding my right hand, my fiance holding my my left hand, my mom holding my head up, and I was just like, so many people in the room, and you know, I'm sitting here trying to catch my breath, I'm losing so much blood, I'm losing, like, you know, I was in and out of my mind, and I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was so close to having a C-section done. She had to actually stop, and she was just like, okay, I'm gonna give you 3 choices. She was like, because you're, you know, just to help you out, she was like, we're either gonna have to take out the vacuum to help take the baby out, we can give you a break to let you rest for a little bit, or do a C-section. And I was just like, well, I don't want to do a C-section, obviously. If, you know, if I really can get him out, you know, natural, then that's what I want to do. I know, baby, I know it hurts. I was like, I don't want to rest, because if you rest, it's just like all the work that you did was for nothing, because everyone literally kept telling me, oh my gosh, his head's right there, his head's right there. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, he's close, and I kept looking in everyone's face, and I was just like, you're all lying to me. Like, his head is not there, I'm not making any progress. Like, I was just struggling. So I was just like, you know what, we're gonna have to do a vacuum, because I can't, you know, the only risks that it had was, you know, some bruising, and of course, you know, of course I don't want that for my baby, but if that's gonna help get him out, then hey, you know. So I made that decision to go ahead and use the vacuum. I wasn't gonna say no to that because I needed some kind of help. But you can tell in all the nurses' faces and everyone's face, everyone was just very nervous. But everyone was trying to keep calm for me. You know, I had my dad, you know, next to me, and he was just like, you could do this, you could do this. He was motivating me. And I was just like, I can't do this. That's all I remember. I just kept on saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. And I was just crying, I was throwing up. So sure enough, 6 hours later, at 4:24 p.m., my little man right here came out of me. 8 pounds, 3 ounces, 19.5 inches, and he was a big boy. And I didn't get to hold him for the first time. I want to say for about 10 to 15 minutes I didn't get to hold him. I didn't get to, you know, everyone else got to see him before me. You know, my mom stayed on my side the whole time, because after they had pulled him out, they had to go ahead and stitch me up and remove my placenta, and deliver my placenta, and get all the blood clots out. And I just remember her pushing down my stomach. I felt all the pain. Like, there was no epidural in the world that would keep me from that. Like, as soon as I started pushing, I felt everything. I felt pain. I just felt pain. It was just, people say, oh, it feels like you're taking a poop. It does not. It did not feel that way for me at all. Like, I felt it all. I felt everything. And they were just like, do you want more epidural? Do you want more epidural? And everyone was just like, no, it's just going to slow down the procedure. And I'm like, I said yes one time and it didn't do anything for me. It did nothing. I felt everything. And when she pushed down to get my blood clots out, like, my mom cried for me because I was just in so much pain. I was screaming. You know, the fact that I didn't even get to hold my son till like, what, 10-15 minutes later. I wasn't even the first person who got to hold my son, you know. So it was just upsetting. And I don't really remember much of like them giving him to me the first time, only because I was in so much pain, and they had went ahead and gave me Percocets. So I was just kind of there, like, you know. But let me tell you, after I took those Percocets, I felt nice. But because I had the 4th degree tear, I couldn't walk. I couldn't go to the bathroom. It took me about a whole week or so to actually get up and be able to walk. I was walking like an old lady. Like, it was just not something that I'd see myself doing again. I'm good with my son, my one and only son. And I know that that's what everyone says, and then they go ahead and they have another child. But the fact that the day that I delivered my son was the scariest day of my life. I mean, it was the happiest day of my life. I won't, like, you know, of course. But it was just a day that I don't want to look back on. Like, I don't want to look back on the pain. The only thing I want to look back on is, you know, I couldn't even, like, change his diaper. Like, I couldn't get up to do things for him. Like, it just didn't go the way I thought it would. But, you know, to this day, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I mean, it's been difficult. Like, there's just so many things that they don't tell you. I know, baby. I know, baby. I know. There's just so many things that they don't tell you. Like, when you're pregnant and when you get to your delivery day, there's just so many things that they don't tell you. So I just went in with such a positive outlook on that day, and it didn't go well for me. It didn't go the way I expected. But regardless, like, if there's any advice that I could give to, you know, all the women who had asked me, like, for this video, if there's any advice that I could give to you, it's think of this as, like, I mean, I just feel like giving birth is life or death. It really is. And, you know, it's just, it's amazing what a woman's body can do. And I think that's why I take so much pride in who I am as a woman, only because we, you know, our bodies make a huge sacrifice for another human being, and it's an amazing thing. It's just it's just amazing. It's so amazing, and I feel like we just deserve so much respect for it. So much respect for it. And, you know, I look back on that day and I'm just like, wow, I managed to do something like that. I managed to do something that amazing, and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. But, you know, throughout my whole pregnancy, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed, you know, having him in my tummy. I didn't know what he looked like, and he's just everything I would have ever wanted.
Yes, you are.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm missing anything in the video. I hope I'm not missing anything. I'm hoping that this video helped, you know, any woman that, you know, that may be pregnant right now and, you know, is just wondering how that day went for me. I don't want it to scare you, because everyone is different. Just go in with such a positive outlook and don't give up. That's all I can say is don't give up. I mean, you may feel like the end is near, because that's how I felt. I felt like I was not going to make it out. I felt like I was not, but really in the back of my mind, I was just like, you know what, I don't even care what happens to me as long as my son comes out okay, because I always knew he'd be taken care of, and that's all that matters. I didn't care what happened to me, and sure enough, he came out perfectly fine. His heart rate was not going down. Like he was great. So that's really all I can say, is just don't give up. Don't give up. You may feel like it is the end of the world. You may not make it out alive. This is it. The end is near. You could do it. Trust me, you could do it. If I could do it, being 100 pounds when I found out I was pregnant, to pushing this 8-pound baby out naturally, no C-section, you could do it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. And I'll try to get back to every single one of you. I can't thank you guys enough. Everyone who's been giving me support throughout my whole pregnancy, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate that. And we both do. My son is truly blessed. We're both truly blessed to have so many people that were there for us throughout the whole thing. So we appreciate it. But I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.